Theme 1, Writing and City Life. Section 1, Early Societies. Short Notes and Summary from Class 11th, Subject History, Book Themes in World History. Section 1, Early Societies. Human Origins and Early Developments. Early human societies are traced back to millions of years ago, originating in Africa. Archaeologists use evidence such as fossilized bones, stone tools, and cave paintings to reconstruct early lifestyles. Important technological and cultural advances include the use of fire, development of language, and gradual shifts from simple nomadic lifestyles to more organized ways of living. Transition from nomadic to settled life. Before agriculture, societies depended on hunting and gathering. Over time, increased knowledge about plants and domestication of animals led to the establishment of agriculture around 10,000 years ago. This gradual change set the stage for permanent settlements, which later evolved into villages and cities. Introduction. Overview of the chapter. The chapter explores the profound transformation in human society from early, dispersed bands into urban centers. It emphasizes how evolving needs, such as managing abundant agricultural produce, ensuring trade, and organizing large communities, spurred innovations like writing and urban planning. The narrative sets up Mesopotamia as a primary example of where this transformation was both visible and far reaching. Mesopotamia and its geography, the land between two rivers. The word Mesopotamia is derived from Greek mesos, middle, and potamos, river. It referred to the region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, modern day Iraq. Geographical features. Northern regions, lush, undulating plains, and mountain ranges support early agriculture. Steppe areas, regions of upland grasslands favor animal herding, offering pastoral livelihoods rather than crop farming. Desert in the south, although arid, this area became fertile due to silt deposition from seasonal flooding of the rivers, enabling productive agriculture through irrigation channels. Impact on society. The natural irrigation systems and fertile lands supported dense populations and the emergence of complex urban communities. The significance of urbanism. Beyond food production, urban life is marked not only by a large population but by a diversification of the economy, trade, crafts, and services developed alongside agriculture. Specialization and division of labor. In cities, people specialized in various trades. For example, a stone seal carver relied on a bronze tool maker for his materials, while the tool maker depended on the availability of metals and transport from distant regions. Social organization. Urban societies required organized systems for the storage, distribution, and regulation of goods. Leadership and administration emerged, often reinforced by kingship and temple authorities. Record keeping. The complexities of urban trade and social life necessitated new methods of recording transactions and laws, setting the scene for the birth of writing. The Warka Head, this one, artistic and cultural symbolism. The Warka Head is an exquisite sculpture from the ancient city of Uruk, believed to date from before 3000 BCE. Features: carved from white marble with inlays of lapis lazuli blue and shell white, it demonstrates high levels of artistry and the ability to import non-local materials. The delicate modeling of facial features, eyes, eyebrows, mouth, chin, reflects both technical skill and aesthetic values. Significance. Beyond its artistic merits, the Warka head symbolizes the degree of craft specialization and trade networks that were integral to urban Mesopotamian society. Movement of goods into cities, trade and resource scarcity. Although Mesopotamia was rich in agricultural produce, it was relatively poor in mineral and quality construction resources. Example suitable stone, quality wood and metal, mechanisms of trade, imports. Cities imported raw materials such as copper, tin, precious stones, and quality wood from neighboring regions like Turkey, Iran, and beyond. Exports. Mesopotamians traded their textiles, produce, and manufactured goods in return. Transportation. River transport was key. Barges and boats navigated the Euphrates and Tigris, making the waterway the most cost effective mode of moving bulky goods. Social organization. The organized trade networks were supported by administrative systems that tracked goods with written records. The development of writing, origins in record keeping. Writing emerged around 3200 BCE in the city of Uruk. Initially, signs on clay tablets were pictographic, representing items such as oxen, fish, and loaves of bread. Purpose. The primary function was to record transactions, especially in temple based economies where goods were collected, stored, or distributed. Evolution. Gradually, these pictographic signs evolved into a more abstract and systematic script, laying the foundation for complex administration and literature. The system of writing, cuneiform writing. The writing evolved into what is known as cuneiform, so called because of the wedge shaped impressions made by a stylus on wet clay. Characteristics. It was a syllabic system, meaning each sign represented a syllable rather than a single letter. Scribes, highly trained specialists, had to master hundreds of such signs to write quickly, since clay tablets dried fast. Usage. This system was used for everything from record keeping and legal documents to epic literature and scholarly text. Longevity. Cuneiform and the languages it recorded, from Sumerian to Akkadian, remained in use for over 2 millennia. Literacy. Limited to the elite, literacy in Mesopotamia was a rare skill, confined largely to trained scribes and members of the ruling or priestly classes. Training and status. Learning to read and write involved mastering several hundred complex signs, a process requiring many years of dedicated study. Kings and high officials often boasted of their ability to read, and literacy became a mark of prestige and power. Oral versus written culture. Most communications remained oral. However, the introduction of writing revolutionized administration, legal systems, and cultural practices. The uses of writing. Multifaceted functions, economic records, detailed accounts of transactions such as inventories, allotments, and trade deals were recorded on clay tablets. Administrative and legal documents, land transfers, laws, and decrees were immortalized through writing. Cultural narratives, epic poems, example stories of Enmerkar and Gilgamesh, and mythological narratives preserved the deeds of kings and gods. Educational and scholarly purposes, schools, often associated with temples, were established to train scribes, ensuring the transmission and development of knowledge over generations. Urbanization in southern Mesopotamia, temples and kings, rise of temple cities from around 5000 BCE, settlements began growing around temple complexes which served as the religious, economic, and administrative centers of early cities. Religious and economic hubs, temples were not merely places of worship, they were centers for processing produce, managing storage, and distributing goods. They controlled large scale production such as oil pressing, grain grinding, and even the collection of tribute. Centralization of power. Successful war leaders and emerging kings used temples as focal points to consolidate power. They often dedicated precious resources, fine stones, metal ornaments, to beautify temple structures, thereby linking religious authority with political control. The seal, an urban artifact, function and significance. Seals, especially cylindrical stone seals, served as a mark of authenticity and identify in administrative and commercial transactions. Usage: they were rolled over wet clay on tablets or the knot of a package to secure goods and verify the sender's identity, often inscribed with names, titles, or religious symbols. These seals encapsulated the organized bureaucracy of city life. Craftsmanship: the creation of seals required skilled craftsmanship, reflecting the advanced state of Mesopotamian art and the importance of trade and record keeping in urban society. Life in the city, daily urban living. Cities such as Ur and Uruk were home to diverse populations where narrow, meandering streets and unsystematic town planning were common. Urban features: houses were modest with small courtyards to permit light and privacy. Drainage systems were not centrally planned. The design of individual houses, drains in courtyards, inward sloping roofs was a common adaptive strategy. Community and challenges: the dense concentration of people brought challenges such as waste management and crowding, but it also fostered a mutual dependency and vibrant social life. A trading town in a pastoral zone. Mari, a hub between worlds. The town of Mari illustrates how a settlement in a largely pastoral, animal herding region could thrive as a center of trade, integration of lifestyles, traders, pastoralists, and people from settled agricultural communities interacted. This mix spurred commerce but also led to conflicts, example disputes over water access or crop damage by roaming herds. Economic importance: strategic positioning along the Euphrates enabled Mary to become a focal point for the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture between diverse communities. The place at Mari of King Zimrilim, 1810 to 1760 BCE, royal architecture and administration. Mari's palace was an administrative and ceremonial center that vividly demonstrates the organization and opulence of an early urban state. Structure and function: the palace featured multiple courtyards, reception halls, storerooms, kitchens, and private suites. A single grand entrance reinforced security and control, symbol of power. The palace was not only a residence of the ruling family but also a hub for distributing food, managing trade, and showcasing the wealth of the kingdom. Excavating Mesopotamian towns. Archaeological techniques and discoveries. Excavations at sites like Ur, Abu Salabik, and Mari have revealed extensive information on urban layout and daily life. Methods: archaeologists use techniques such as surface scraping to reveal wall outlines, sieving soil for seeds and animal remains, and studying microstratifications of floor layers. Insights gained: these studies reveal details about domestic arrangements, example narrow streets, back alleys, drainage systems, and confirm the presence of intensive administrative activities, rations, building projects. Modern relevance: improved excavation methods and recording standards allow us to understand the organization, economic systems, and cultural practices of ancient Mesopotamian societies. Cities in Mesopotamian culture, cultural identity, and urban prestige. Mesopotamian cities were more than just administrative centers, they symbolized the identity, pride, and ingenuity of their peoples. Cultural expressions, epic poetry like the Gilgamesh epic, and monumental inscriptions celebrate heroic deeds, cultural achievements, and the magnificence of urban life. Social stratification: the stratified society comprising royal elites, craftsmen, traders, and commoners is clearly reflected in the vast differences in residential architecture and artifacts found in the various strata. Enduring legacy, the emphasis on urban life left lasting marks on art, architecture, legal systems, and many other fields, influencing subsequent civilizations in the region and beyond. The legacy of writing, enduring contributions. The invention of writing provided an enduring legacy that extended far beyond record keeping. Advances in science and mathematics. Written records include early mathematical texts, multiplication and division tables, calculations of areas, and the square root of 2, which paved the way for scientific and engineering achievements. Cultural preservation. The recording of epic narratives, legal codes, and historical events has allowed later generations to access and understand the achievements of early societies. Transmission of knowledge, libraries and schools in ancient Mesopotamia ensured that knowledge was passed down through generations, influencing successive cultures across the world. An early library, the Library of Azurbanipal, one of the most important legacies of Mesopotamian civilization, was the collection of texts compiled by the Assyrian king Azurbanipal at Nineveh. Features. This library housed thousands of clay tablets that included historical records, epic poems, Oman literature, and religious texts. Detailed cataloging ensured that these texts were organized by subject and remained accessible to scholars. Impact. The existence of such libraries underscores the value that ancient Mesopotamians placed on knowledge and its preservation for future generations. And an early archaeologist, preservation of the past, figures such as Nabonidus, the last ruler of independent Babylon, demonstrated an early form of archaeological interest by preserving and restoring ancient artifacts. Examples. Nabonidus retrieved a broken statue inscribed with the name of Sargon, king of Akkad, 2370 BCE, and ordered its repair as a sign of respect for the past. His actions show that even ancient rulers recognized the importance of their cultural heritage and took steps to maintain the legacy of their ancestors. Significance. These early efforts at archaeology underline a continuing tradition, the human impulse to remember, record, and learn from the past. Summary. From nomads to cities, human societies transformed from small, nomadic groups into complex urban communities due to advances in agriculture, animal domestication, and the need for organized trade and record keeping. Geography's role. In Mesopotamia, the natural setting between the Euphrates and Tigris rivers provided fertile land and created conditions favorable for the growth of cities, even in arid regions. Through innovative irrigation, urban life, and specialization, the emergence of urban centers brought about a division of labor. Specialization in crafts, trade, and administrative tasks was essential for the smooth functioning of cities. Temples, palaces, and organized markets not only facilitated economic activities but also became centers of cultural and political power. The invention and impact of writing. Developed initially for economic record keeping, writing evolved into the sophisticated cuneiform system. This breakthrough allowed for the recording of laws, literature, and historical events. Literacy, though limited to a few, became a symbol of power and intellectual achievement, underpinning advancements in science, mathematics, and legal governance. Cultural legacies, artifacts such as the Warka Head, intricately carved seals, monumental palaces, and extensive libraries highlight the rich cultural, artistic, and administrative achievements of Mesopotamian society. The dedication to preserving cultural memory, exemplified by early libraries and the efforts of rulers like Nabonidus, continues to influence our understanding of history today. So friends, we have completed notes and summary from theme 1, writing and city life. We will do question answers of this chapter in a separate video. If you like the video, kindly like it and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to my channel. You can support me with channel membership and super thanks. We will meet in the next video. Thank you for watching.